So I've been interviewed yesterday, and actually I was thinking this is good to create a video for it. It's about unit test. So the interviewer asked me, okay, I don't really understand why we need a unit test in the code. So it's might be just a waste of time. Why would you write a test? Because at the end, I don't believe unit tests are good. So my answer was about yes, unit tests are very good if you want a serious application. And the thing is, the unit test avoid regression bug. Basically, this is the main thing. So if something, if you implement a code and then it creates a bug somewhere else, with unit tests you will be able to see what you've what have you broken, basically. If and in that case, fix it. So how can we be sure that the developer is going to just say, okay, this test not working here, so I'm just update the code to make it passed? Okay, this is very easy. This is what Junior could do eventually. Didn't think so much. And then the issue is, yes, all the tests are going to pass. For example, when you do a pull request, you have this unit test process in the pipeline. Perfect. But the problem is when you push this into production, then the user will say, oh, but this is not working anymore, so I don't know, I cannot pass my order, etc. And you might lose client, or may have client not happy. Okay, so this is a very big problem. So this is what we call regression issues. So it's very important for me to have a unit test if you do a serious application, and you have a lot of users as well, or important users in your application, and your applications need to be very stable. Okay, if you have a startup, for example, you build something, you need to build very quickly and get out something, even if it's not perfect, to show to an investor, for example. Then why not? Okay, maybe you can just not create unit test and it's fine. But in case of serious application, I would say this is important. So yes, another thing also for unit tests is very good. When you try to implement function, for example, and then everything seems to work perfectly, and then you create the test, and then you realize, oh, but I didn't realize in that case my implementation doesn't work. Actually, there's a bug here. And so when you create the test, this is where you realize that you might have bug in your implementation. So this is very useful. And this is where AI, you need to be very careful, because AI generates so quickly the code for your test, for example, and you don't especially realize that your implementation doesn't work as expected, or doesn't, you can't see all the cases that could happen, okay, because you focus on the main feature to develop. So that's it. And then after, there's another advantage for unit test, I feel. For another developer that doesn't know your code, for example, it needs to maintain your code or add something else, whatever. So it's going to look at your code and maybe doesn't understand very clearly what is it about. It might be a complex feature, I don't know. So, for example, you can have arguments in your main function, let's say, and you don't know what is it about, all arguments, what's going on inside, you don't know. So the good thing is with unit test, you can go, in that case, what I do personally, I go straight to the unit test and try to understand what in the unit test, what are we passing as argument to this function. and it's going to help me. This is how it works actually. This is now it makes sense. I mean, it helps to understand more quickly the feature without trying to understand, or maybe you think this way, but it's not exactly how they wanted this to they want the arguments to be passed, for example. Okay, so this is very good. And then when you couple, another thing also, unit tests are very good, because when you couple unit tests with integration tests, for example, you make it more robust, basically. So integration tests, you're going to test the feature a bit from outside if you want. So you're going to, if it's a call to an API, you're going to emulate the code to the API, create emulate the database read or database update, whatever. So everything is mocked if you want, and then so you can see if the feature is working. So of course, integration test, it's more a little bit more broad. Okay, it's not on the detail. Usually you don't write all the detail of the, you don't handle all, maybe most of the case, I mean, depends on the application, of course, but most of the case, you don't handle all the cases. You handle the main cases, or just only one, just to be sure we don't break the feature. This feature is working as expected with the main purpose of this feature. Okay, so when you couple integration tests with unit tests, this is where you make your application robust, or even very robust. And then you have the QA team, for example, where they can do their own test behind, so this creates even more robust. And then at the end you have a very, very good, very stable feature. Okay, so this is good. And when you add that everywhere, you can be sure that you have a very very professional featured application that's very stable, and people can say this application is working perfectly. There's no bug as far as I can see, and they like it. People don't like bugs, or they're okay with most of the time they're okay with like glitches, some little things, that's okay, it's happened. But they don't like they are very blocked to do something. This is not good at all. So as a developer, we need to be very careful of this and make it work as the best possible, and be at the same time productive. This is why software developer is not very easy work, because the owner don't want you to spend months doing one feature. So yes, so this is the right balance. Okay, and I think, by the way, about code coverage, we can talk about code coverage a little bit as well. So code coverage is very important in this unit test. So you have some application that you have some teams that request 100% code coverage, or maybe more than 75% code coverage. So you can be sure the code is fully covered and doesn't handle anything you didn't think about. But having 100% code coverage, it's a lot. It's a lot of time as well, and so I personally prefer to let the developers know what they need to test. Okay, the most important features, the most important cases. Sorry. So if you handle the most important cases, this is where you are productive. Basically, you don't spend days trying to focus on something that will never happen, for example. Okay, so let's be productive, and your manager, product owner, will like to work with you because you can still deliver things and not be endless, and so they will put them in the bad position when they report to their own manager. So yes, so it's good. Unit tests I'm very 100% with, unless it's a very small project or more MVP or just a very startup project, why not? But when it starts to be used by a lot of users, very important users, when you need the application to be very stable, so of course that's a cost, but it's really good. So unit test, last thing after I stop. Unit test, I think it's also, we sometimes think that, okay, if you don't do unit tests, we save time, so we save money. Okay, why don't we do this? We trust our developers, fine. We can accept a bit of bugs, okay? But the problem is, yes, about users. Some user won't be happy and just will leave you or give you bad reputation, etc. So that's not good. And then the problem also is the time to fix the bug. Okay, let's say I develop something and then I leave the company. Someone else is going to get, and then there's a bug. Okay. So someone else is going to take over my work and try just the time to try to understand how it works. Where is this bug? If I fix this bug this way, is it not going to create other issues? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, etc. So if you don't have this kind of safety net behind, it's very difficult. So you might think that unit test but not doing unit tests, it's going to be save your cost, but actually at the end most of the case is you saving money actually. So very important, unit test. Unit test is base, okay? Then after you have integration test, which also are very good, but it's another step to the quality of software what you want. So the tech lead needs to decide what needs to be done. But I recommend those two, at least unit test and integration test. This is very, very minimum, I think. Yeah, thank you. See you in the next video.